Our alcohol-free challenge is designed to give you the opportunity to redefine your relationship with alcohol.
It's a challenge, but it's a challenge that's going to be so worth it. Full details down below.
Cheers.
Welcome to Middle Eastern Mezze board. Middle Eastern food is easily one of my favorite cuisines, and today we're going to show you how to make an epic Mezze board. So we're going to make Boba Ganoush, my favorite aubergine dip. We're going to make some mahumra, which is an incredible red pepper and walnut-based kind of acidic and sweet dip, magnificent. We're going to make Gomacio Cucumbers. I'm going to make some za'atar flatbreads. It's easy to make, it's incredibly impressive, and it's so incredibly tasty. Okay, for Boba Ganoush, which is one of my favorite dips ever, which literally translated means spoiled dad. Not spoiled as in rotten dad, but spoiled as in like, you are so lucky to receive this dip. Anyway, we have two beautiful aubergines. I'm going to chop these in half and we're going to bake them. So there's two ways you can traditionally do it. You can do it on the gas, but that typically takes anywhere from 10 to 15 minutes and it is quite labor intensive. So alternatively, I'm just going to chop these and bake them in the oven. So I preheated the oven to 220 degrees Celsius. I'm simply chopping them in half. Pop them on our tray like this. I'm going to put a little bit of oil on them, just a little bit. Turn them flesh side down. Take a pinch of salt. It'll just help dry them out a little more. So 220 degrees, we're gonna bake this for 30 minutes or even longer until they've actually started to collapse. We want this mushy, we want these gooey, we want this to be so incredibly tasty. Next, we're gonna make mahumra. Mahumra comes from the Arabic word apparently, which means reddened. It's widely available around the Middle East. We made this when we were testing it, and Didem, who works in the kitchen, who's from Turkey, she said, this is incredible. This was really good. Okay, so first step, I've got a pan and I'm gonna just dry roast or fry some walnuts just to kind of increase their flavors. So I have 50 grams or a nice handful of walnuts. These are just whole walnuts, and just pop them in. Okay, while they're frying or just heating away up, we're gonna add stuff into our food processor. So I have 300 grams of red peppers. That's when they've been drained. These are already roasted. Just buy them from a jar, it's a lot easier. Okay, next step, we have our toasted walnuts. They're kind of nice and warm. That's just 50 grams, in they go. I've got 1 clove of garlic. I just diced it nice and finely just to make it easier in the food processor. 1 tablespoon pomegranate molasses. Oh, I love pomegranate molasses. If you don't have that, just simply use, so that's 1 tablespoon. Use half a tablespoon of lime juice and half a tablespoon of maple syrup, because pomegranate molasses is kind of sweet and sour at the same time. It's amazing. You could use tamarind alternatively. I love pomegranate molasses. Okay, next step. 1 teaspoon of cumin powder and 1 teaspoon of chili flakes. Typically Aleppo chilies are used. I'm probably not pronouncing that correctly, but use whatever chilies you have. Juice a half a lemon, just squeeze it through your hand to catch any pips. I've got 2 tablespoons of oil. Pop the lid on and we're gonna pulse it. Oh, this looks beautiful. I love mahumra. Okay, so I like to have a bit of texture to it. Some people like it kind of homogeneous. I really like a bit of bite and a bit of grizzle to it. So it looks beautiful. It does look quite runny, and that's where the breadcrumbs come in. So we've got 50 grams of breadcrumbs. We're gonna add this. It adds a little bit of bite, adds a bit of texture, and kind of makes the dip kind of feel much more together and unified. I just love this dip. Just to finish, a little bit of olive oil on the top. Hey, boom, mahumra, ready to go. Okay, next step, we have some toasted wholemeal pittas. Use white if you prefer. We've literally just literally out of the toaster. I'm gonna mix these with a nice za'atar oil. So I'm taking a tablespoon of za'atar. You'll be able to get it as a spice mix, widely available. I'm gonna put in about a tablespoon or 2 of oil. Just give it a nice mix. My kids often refer to this as posh garlic bread. Just take it and just kind of smear it on. It just gives that lovely flavor. You get the oiliness, there's a nice saltiness in the za'atar. It just really gives that extra level of flavor. So we made our mahumra, we've made our za'atar pita breads, and now just while our aubergines are finishing off here, I've got some hummus. I think hummus is really important in a basic mezze platter. So we're using our own happy hummus. We do have a reduced fat one. There we go. I always think the nicest way to serve this is just level it out there. Some toasted pine nuts on the top, a little bit of sumac, and a little bit of oil, just a little drizzle. Okay, our aubergines, also known as our eggplants, have been baking for about 35 minutes at 220 degrees Celsius. They've started to collapse, so time to take them out. I think aubergines are such a beautiful, like such a gorgeous looking veg. You'll know what I mean by collapse, like when I press it, you see it's nearly gone hollow. Oh, they just look amazing. They're so soft and they feel like they're nearly gonna implode. So just grab a clean spoon. Obviously, if you're sensitive to heat, maybe use a towel. If your hands are quite resilient, just get stuck in. We're just gonna literally scoop out this creamy, soft, gooey flesh. Okay, the beauty of this is because the aubergines are so soft, we actually don't need a food process. So I'm gonna use a fork and I'm just gonna add the rest of our ingredients before I bring it together. So I've got a pinch of black pepper. I've got a 1/4 teaspoon of sumac, if you have it. If you don't have it, don't worry. I've got 1 teaspoon of salt. I've got 2 tablespoons of yogurt of choice. I'm simply using a coconut yogurt. Use whatever yogurt you have. I've got 70 grams of light tahini, or whatever tahini you have. If you don't have tahini, you could use peanut butter, not traditionally done and probably frowned upon. However, you could if you didn't have it. So 70 grams of light tahini. So I've got 1 clove of garlic that I chopped really nice and finely. In that goes. I've got a good generous tablespoon of olive oil. Juice of 2 lemons, just squeeze it in, make sure there's no pips. Next, take a fork and just mash it and bring it all together. Wow, look, these burnt bits. Okay, point to note about making your Boba Ganoush. So if you're someone that doesn't like kind of texture, little kind of bits in it, put in a food processor and just blend it until it's homogeneous. If you want it to be more creamy or more mayonnaise-like, while it is blending, just add in a little bit more oil. It'll just emulsify and you end up with this kind of really thick, almost mayonnaise-like texture. I like kind of lumps in it. I like the little bit of caramelized charred bits in it. I think it's perfect, but you know, customize it to your palate. Really, before you serve it, taste it and adjust the seasoning. To me, this is just boom, perfect. Okay, last thing, I heard you ask, what is Gomacio cucumber? Gomacio is really simple. In essence, on a pan, toast some sesame seeds, take them into a pestle and mortar, mash them up mash them up with a nice generous serving of coarse sea salt, and that's it. I use some golden or some white sesame seeds and some black ones just to give more contrast and flake. It sounds really simple, but it has this wonderful caramelized, toasted sesame salty note that contrasts so well with the juiciness of cucumber, and it just makes a wonderful aside to this mezze platter. So with the cucumber Gomacio, only do it as you go to serve it, otherwise the cucumber goes all mushy. So I'm literally just slicing our cucumber and we're gonna put it on our platter ready to go. And just generously coat it. Seems so simple, but it's really tasty and fresh and vibrant. Okay, so with I think a mezze board, I think presentation is so much, and I think this is just magnificent looking. Like even me just doing this, I just cannot wait to tuck in. So as they say, the juice is so worth the squeeze with this. We've been eating hummus, carrot sticks, wraps for years, but this is just next level. Like Boba Ganoush, I love you, 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 I love you. And like putting a bit of mahumra on the top of it, like it's just exquisite, 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 exquisite. Anyway, thanks for watching this vid. Hope you have a great day. As we mentioned at the start, we do have a book available to pre-order. It really does help people to get eat more plant-based and to reduce their waste. Link down below. Anyway, thanks for watching. Wishing you a great day. Cheers. I love Boba Ganoush. So tasty.